Today there's a very interesting song in the Murli, and the song says, "Look into your heart, my child," or "Look into your heart, the soul, and discern how much of pap and punya is there in your life." So you see that in the English Murli, punya is translated as charity and pap is translated as sin. But we have to understand that because some words do not have accurate translation, so we are going with this word charity. But actually, punya is a concept, which needs to be understood. So, sin, we understand it's pap, but then the opposite of pap is punya. And Baba tells us that we have to check how much of pap and punya is there in our life. And Baba says that now we children know that we were punya atma, or we were charitable souls for half the cycle. So in the golden age and silver age, we were punya atma, or charitable souls. And in the copper age and iron age, we became papatma, or sinful souls. And we know that this is a cycle, so the cycle has to turn again. So I have to again transform myself from a papatma to a punyatma, so that I can go back to the world of charitable souls, or to the world of punya. So Baba says, now you have to check how much of a punyatma you have become. And how do we become a papatma or a punyatma? So Baba tells us the deep difference between a papatma and a punyatma. And you see, whenever the soul has vices in itself, then it is a papatma. And when the soul is free from vices, then it is a punyatma. So Baba says that in the golden age and silver age, we do not have vices. We are free from vices. And that is why we do not perform any sinful actions. But from the copper age, vices enter the soul, and then we become sinful. So Baba says, now we have to check how much of purity we have attained, or how free we have become from vices. And you see, there is a very simple law. If you don't use it, you lose it. So how do we become free from vices? When we don't use our vices for a long time, then we get rid of them. So that's the method to be free from vices. That's the method to be a punyatma. Now you see that in the world, whatever actions people perform, they perform it because of vices. So the motivation for every action is vices. So just check for yourself, right from getting up in the morning until sleeping in the night. So what is driving your actions? So now that we are Brahmins and we are, operating differently, maybe you can figure out some actions which are not driven by vices. But if you look at every action in the world, it has its seed in a vice. So when people get up also, why do they get up? They get up to either earn or take care of the body, or they get up to take care of family members, or cook food, or clean the space. So what is your motivation? It is this material world, the attainment or the upkeep of this material world. So even a small act of getting up from their bed is also motivated by vice. All day, whatever we do it because of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. So where there is no lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, we don't choose that action. Yes, so we do action for fulfillment of lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. So even when we are, taking care of souls, or, taking care of this body, it is because of attachment. And that's why, if you are, let's say, you are eating right, okay, let's say there is a disease in the body, and then the doctor says that, follow this lifestyle or eat this food for some time. Then you eat it, and then you get yourself monitored, and then you figure out that that disease is not changing. So it's the same, it's rather getting worse. Then the first thought you will have is, why am I doing so much? Why have I changed my food habits so much when there is no consequence on the disease? So, you're doing it for with an expectation. It is always an expectation. You do not do anything without lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. And because there is expectation, there is disappointment. And in the world, karma is making us more disappointed than happy. So, people are at the end of their life, you see people cursing what they did. They sit and say, I did so much, I would rather have not done. And they repent, that they did so much. Why? Because they do it out of expectation. And then when those expectations are not met, there is hurt, there is disappointment, there is sorrow. So Baba says that in this world, every action is driven by these vices. So you are doing, you even a thought, you don't even create a thought where there is no lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. Yes, so you don't even spare a thought for someone or something which is not an object of your lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. And that is why Baba says that we are all papatmas, because in the world, everybody is performing actions driven by vices, and those vices, so as is the seed, so is the fruit. So when the seed is a vice, the fruit is sorrow. So maybe, for some time, you may get the fruit of happiness, but that's an illusion. Ultimately, the fruit that you receive because of vicious karma is always sorrow. So Baba says this is why the world is becoming more and more sorrowful. And, we have started, and what is the solution that we have started in the world? So there is always a discussion about some solution about whatever problem is at hand. And then, in the world of vices, people are coming up with this solution that don't do anything for anyone. Just, don't labor too hard for work. Maybe you don't get the return, or, don't take care of any relationships, because when they don't give you the return, you feel disappointed. So this is how we are figuring out the solution in the world. But Baba says that this is also a sign of papatma, because, again, laziness or carelessness or neglecting or rejecting, these are also signs of sin. So if you don't take care of what you are supposed to take care of, that is called neglect. if you reject somebody who you are supposed to nurture, that is called rejection. And then these are also sins. Not only attachment is a sin, but neglect, reject, these are also sins. So Baba says this is how, we are trying to find a solution to this problem, but in finding the solution, we are creating a bigger problem. So we're becoming more and more sinful. Now, Baba tells us that now you become a Punyatma. And how do we do that? So, Baba gives us a very simple method. Do everything directly for Baba and indirectly for everyone. Yes, so Baba says, become a trustee. So, Baba says, surrender everything to Baba. Yes, today Baba in the slogan also says, will everything. Yes, so just with your buddhi, just surrender everything to Baba. Just know that, this body, bodily relations, work, attainments, everything belongs to Baba. And Baba says that just have this attitude that I am a soul, Baba, you are mine, and everything that I have is yours. And then whatever you do is for Baba. So for Baba directly, and of course, you are taking care of what belongs to Baba, but you are just a trustee, you are just an instrument in doing that. So, you wake up for Baba. You don't wake up for doing something. You wake up for Baba. You wake up for remembering Baba. So first thing you do when you get up in the morning is, good morning, Baba. So with a lot of love, you see Baba. You wish good morning to Baba. And then you sit in Baba's remembrance. And then Baba says, you cook food. So you cook food for Baba. So you offer first bhog to Baba. So whenever the food is cooked, the first one that you offer to is to Baba. And whenever you cook food for somebody, you cook what they like. Yes, so you only cook what can be offered as bhog to Baba. You don't cook that which, other people like in the family. But, only sattvic food which can be offered as bhog to Baba, you cook that. You cook in remembrance of the one you cook for. So when you cook for Baba, when you cook bhog, then you don't remember those bodily beings who will consume the bhog. You remember Baba because you're cooking for Baba. Or, you are taking care of the body. Then you understand that this body is an instrument to do Baba's service. This mouth is an instrument to give Baba's introduction. Or, this mind is an instrument to remember Baba. So whenever you take care of the body, you take care of the mind, you are taking care of Baba's physical instrument. So you are a trustee and you are not attached to the body. And you see, it's very interesting. So those who really surrender themselves to Baba, they are never disturbed by anything that happens to the body, because you are a trustee of the body. And I will tell you a personal dharana. So whenever there is something that happens to the body, maybe there's some illness, sickness, whatever, then the first thought I have is, Baba, you take care of the body, because this body is doing your seva. So if you want me to take the class, you take care of it, or else I am fine. I do not have any problem with the pain or anything, because you understand that even if today there is an order by Baba that come with me, we will go back to the soul world, then you're ready to leave this body. And Janki Dadi ji always used to say that, Baba, if you say come with me, I will come with you. If you say stay, I will stay. So I don't have any attachment to this body. I am not concerned about when I will leave this body or until when I will stay in this body. So you are neither attached to the body nor are you troubled by the body. The body is just an instrument and you are holding on to it, you are taking care of it until Baba wants you to take care of it. And when Baba asks you to leave it, you leave it. So Baba says that you, even when you feed the body, then also you must know that this body is like a horse, and just like the master of the horse feeds the horse so that the horse can run the race for the master, similarly you feed the body whatever the body needs, so that you can, this body can be Baba's instrument. You are not feeding it because you want to eat something or you want to taste something. It's not the sensual pleasure that is attracting you, but you are a trustee and you feed the body whatever is required by the body. And then Baba says that you go to work also, then also you have this attitude that the proceeds of this work, so whatever you earn from work, the first part of it goes to Baba. So the first part. So usually there is this thing that in every religion they prescribe a certain percentage. Yes, so they prescribe either 20% of your earnings or 10% or 5% or whatever. In different religions they say you have to donate it to spiritual purposes or religious purposes rather. But Baba says you have to understand that all your earning is Baba's. And then what you do is a percentage of it, whatever percentage you have the courage to fix right now. It could be 10, it could be 20, it could be 50, whatever percentage it is. So you send it directly to Baba's home so that Baba's task can be handled through that contribution. So that is one thing. And second thing is whatever is left with you, that also you only use on Baba's directions. You don't spend it where Baba has forbidden you from spending it. So you don't buy stuff which are against Srimad. So your expenses are also according to Srimad. So let's say today you make a list of what you spend your money on, and then cigarettes and alcohol and non-vegetarian food and onion and garlic and gaudy clothes or extravagant expenditure, giving it to impure souls. If that is your account of expenditure, then it is not according to Srimad. So Baba says whenever you go to earn, you always should know that I am a Brahmin and whatever I earn belongs to Baba. And even if I'm not directly sending it, so whatever part you send directly, that is used directly in Baba's work. But then you are also Baba's instrument. So whatever you spend on your personal expenses according to Srimad, that is also not creating a sinful account if it is on Srimad. Yes, or if it is according to Baba's directions. For example, Baba has not told us to not eat food, or Baba has not given us, so in sannyas there is this direction that you don't earn, you don't cook, you beg for food and eat that food. But Baba has not given us any such direction. Baba has given us the direction that you take care of this body, which is my instrument. So I spend money on buying food and cooking it and offering bhog. So if you're doing it, if your expense is about milk and vegetables and ghee and rice and roti, then of course, or fruits and vegetables, then it is according to Srimad. It is not creating a sinful account. Or Baba has not told us to not pay the fees of children, or not not take care of the family's expense. So Baba says all that is according to Srimad. So that is not creating a sinful account, because you are becoming a trustee and doing it. But if you are doing something against Srimad, for example, Baba says that, don't spend it on stuff which I have forbidden you to, consume. So let's say, you're buying alcohol or cigarettes out of it, then it is creating a sinful account. Yes, so Baba says that this is my direction for, householders, and not just body, mind, and wealth, but time, energy, thought, everything you spend on Baba's Srimad. And when that happens, then you become a Punyatma. Then your account of charity is being created. So Baba asks us today to check how much of a charitable soul have you become. And then Baba today talks about, Baba talks about one very important thing, that is sinful action, neutral action, and pure action. So Baba talks about the philosophy of action. So you see, Baba says that this is the only field of action. Yes, so this you have to understand, that you cannot create karma in the soul world, or you cannot create karma in the subtle region. So it's not like, whatever good karma you create or bad karma you create, it's all done here. This is the only field of action. This is one thing that Baba clarifies today. Don't think that, after you go back, you can change your karma. No. Whatever change you have to make here while you are in the body. Yes, I will give you one example. There was this one brother, and he was a BK, and then he made some mistakes in life. And then when he went to the subtle region, he realized those mistakes. So, when he left the body, and then when Baba emerged him in the subtle region, then he realized that he had made some mistakes regarding the decisions he took while he was in the body. And then he told Baba, Baba, let me go and correct them. Yes, so then Baba said, you can't correct them now. So do you understand that at this point of time, we are body conscious. And even when we receive Baba's directions, we don't do many things on Baba's directions because we are body conscious. But Baba says, when you go to the subtle region after leaving the body, and even if you come to a place of realization of what wrong you did, yes, you cannot correct it. Once you go to the soul world, you can't correct it. So whatever good, bad action happens, it only happens here. So that is why Baba is now telling us to follow his directions. And although, many a times we do not have the understanding or the sensibility, or, we have pulls of vices which are telling us to not do what Baba says and do what the vices say, still we have to make the effort to follow Baba's directions, because Baba's directions are going to change us from a sinful to a charitable soul. And Baba says there is no other place you can correct your actions. You have to do it here. That's why it's now or never. And Baba says, I give you the direction to sacrifice everything here. Yes, what is sacrifice? So this word sacrifice is very beautiful. Baba says that you sacrifice means to make sacred. So Baba says, I give you the direction to sacrifice everything, your body, mind, and wealth, and make it sacred. And Baba says that in religion also, you have been told to donate, just like I was explaining earlier. But Baba says in religion, you are an impure soul and you donate to impure souls. And then when you donate to impure souls, or you donate to tasks that are not godly, so every task, do you think that whatever donation you make is going, so whenever people are donating in religion or otherwise, also donating to poor people, or those who are suffering, they are all souls who are under the influence of vices. So even if you donate to a soul who is suffering, they are still vicious. So you are donating to a soul who is suffering but vicious. So then you are contributing to their viciousness. And they will use your effort, your contribution to perform further vicious acts. Yes, so if you donate to a soul who is, maybe they have a disease or something and they are suffering with pain, but then they are not pure souls. So once you give them the resources, what will they do? They will, spend it on food and drink and things that they do out of impurity. Yes, so this is what Baba is saying, that impure souls who engage in lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed, when you donate to them, you are becoming part of the, that account of sin that they are creating. Let me give you one example. So you see, these days, organ donation is upheld as something, very important, or very sacred. And after death, okay, you donate an organ, that's also there. But then when you are living also, many people donate their liver or their kidney to somebody. And I remember there was this one brother, and he used to drink a lot, and then his liver got damaged, and then he was in a condition where somebody had to donate their liver to him. And then there was his brother. So his brother was only 2 years younger to this brother, and you see, this one who needed a liver donation, he was 67 years of age, and the brother was 65 years of age. And at that age, this brother donated the liver to this elder brother. And he went through some medical complications also, but he was happy. He thought, let me, I'm doing a good karma by helping my brother. And then this brother, the one who was riddled with liver cancer, liver cirrhosis or liver damage, he recovered. And then what did he do after recovering? He again started drinking. And then after that, he damaged himself so badly that he died ultimately because of that. And this brother, he had a lot of, remorse that my liver also got wasted because this person did not have the sensibility. And Baba talks about not only, drinking and smoking, but Baba talks about lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. They make everyone impure. And there is no soul in the world who is free from these things. So Baba says, that is why even when you do some karma like donation in the world, it is only creating pap karma. But Baba says that here I have come and I am making souls pure, and I'm creating a world of purity. And I am creating that world of heaven where there is no sorrow. And when you sacrifice in my task, then you receive a return for 21 births. This is punya karma. This is not pap karma, because you are not donating to souls who are on the path of impurity. Your body, mind, and wealth is being used for the creation of the world of purity, for for the education and the upliftment of souls, and put them on the path of purity. So Baba says that when you do that, then whatever you invest in this yajna, which is purifying everything, it purifies whatever you invest in it. So that is why sacrificing makes you sacred. So Baba says, now you sacrifice your body, mind, and wealth on my directions for my task. And Baba says, and you do it happily. Why? Because you understand that when you do this, then you will receive the return of it for 21 births. And second thing Baba says is, now you understand that all the body, mind, and wealth that is there right now is going to finish or perish anyway. So now you understand that when you use it for godly purpose, then you are creating a hundredfold return from that which is going to perish anyway. And then Baba also tells us that what does sacrificing mean? So I told you that it's not like you give away everything to Baba. You give some part of it. But then Baba says sacrificing means whatever you also use as a trustee, you use it in a worthwhile way. You use it in a way that it gives you a return of charity. So, for example, Baba says that, whenever you are, even when you are raising children, so you are investing your time, your energy, your thought into raising children, but don't just sustain them physically, sustain them spiritually also. And when you don't just give them physical sustenance, so you see, what does raising a child today mean? Raising a child today means sending them to school, feeding them, clothing them, that's all. But Baba says, don't just see them like a body and sustain them physically, but also sustain them spiritually. Sustain them with your good wishes, good feelings. Create an environment of purity and discipline around them. Share knowledge with them as much as they can understand. Take real life examples from their life and then sustain them in a knowledgeful, powerful, loveful, pure manner. And Baba says, when you do that, then you are using your resources in a worthwhile way. It is creating a punya karma. So Baba tells us that this is how Baba talks about, the punya karma at this time. And then Baba says, neutral actions happen in Satyug and Treta Yuga. Because Baba says at that time, we are soul conscious, we are not body conscious, and we don't have vices. So we perform neutral actions. And Baba says, since the copper age to the iron age, there are only sinful actions. And right now, I teach you how to engage in pure actions or good karma. So everybody has to make their choice. And just remember, this is the only time you can create any karma. After you leave the body, however much you repent, Baba says, from the copper age, what happens is every soul performs impure karma under the influence of vices because they are body conscious. And once they leave the body, they repent for it. In the womb also, they feel like they are receiving punishment. Why? Because they created that karma under body consciousness. But we don't want to receive any punishment, neither in the subtle region, nor is there any punishment in Satyug. So if you want to be free from punishment, change your karma now. I will tell you one incident. I was seeing an interview by a lady called Anita Murjani, and she once had a near-death experience. And in that near-death experience, she understood, the mistake she was making in this life. And when she came back, she corrected those mistakes, okay? And those are the mistakes of body consciousness that Baba teaches us about. And in that interview, the one thing she kept repeating was, I kept thinking, why did I have to die to learn this? Why couldn't I learn this while living? And that is why I tell everybody that you should learn everything while you are alive so that you can correct it. And okay, I came back from death, but what if you're not coming back from death and you only die and learn and then you don't have the chance to come back? Then what do you do? And Baba is exactly talking about that. Baba is saying that, after you leave the body, after there is no body consciousness, you understand whatever you did under the influence of body consciousness, which was wrong. But Baba says now the wise soul, the knowledgeful soul is the one who understands it now, here, and corrects it here and now. Okay, Om Shanti. Anybody wants to share anything, please do. I can't hear you, Vandanaben. There is some problem with the mic, I think, because it's unmuted. But I can't hear you. Maybe you've plugged in a mic and it's not working or something.
Yes.
Yes, now I can hear you. Yes. Yes. Yes.
What I understood from today's movie is that when we perform actions based on vices, we lose something. Just as we do good actions to become Punya Atma, we gain it. Just as in Bhakti also we have seen that when we donate anything, like making hospitals, we get good health. And so is vice versa. When we abuse our body, then we get trouble in that part.
Correct.
I think.
Correct.
We lose that only.
Correct.
Somebody may have misused their money and resources in past birth, then in this birth also, we see that they are suffering in financial portion.
Correct.
And we have to now keep a watch on ourselves.
Correct.
On Sukshma level, we keep a check on our emotions, feelings, but on our body usage also. We do everything in remembrance of Baba.
Yes.
On Shrimad. And still, when related to food and drinks, we are little irresponsible, I think. And that also with remembrance of Baba, we have to overcome that. More and more yoga we have to do.
Yes.
Because Baba has said we will become Pavan only with remembrance of Baba.
Yes.
And that's what I got. And Baba also said today that we have become Tamo Pradhan Par. Due to that, whole world is becoming like that.
Right. Right.
So first, when we become pure, then whole world will be purified.
Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shanti. Yes, Nirmal Bhai.
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Today, Baba talking about charitable actions and sinful action. In the charitable actions, sometimes during the present time, I find normally, suppose we give charity to institutions like, there are some institute like Safe Side Institute, or they do for the purpose of health purpose. Suppose if you donate to those things, what do you reckon that one?
But Baba is saying no, that even if somebody is suffering from health, they are still impure souls, They are not embracing purity. So when you donate to them also, you're becoming part of, their account of sin. Because that soul, maybe that body is ill, but still when the body recovers, what are they going to do? Engage in lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed. They are not going to use their body for any charitable purpose.
But those people, they said they are doing the university for only students who are studying, or they lost their eye or have some problem, something like that.
Yes, even if that's being done, yes, I'm not questioning that they are not doing it. But whatever they are doing, again, what is it creating? It's creating a sinful soul only, na?
Okay.
It is not creating a punya atma. It's not creating somebody who is free from selfishness or lust or anger or ego, attachment, greed. Yes.
Yeah,
so
correct.
That is why Baba is saying this.
Yeah, and the other one, we contribute to building funds like to the temples or some charitable institutions where accommodation like that. That one, what do you reckon, that one?
So that is also, again, who will take benefit of that? Again, sinful souls, because there is nobody who is giving up vices in this world except Baba's children. Yes, so that is why Baba says that when you contribute to sinful souls, then your account of sin is not reducing, it is expanding.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
so
that's correct. Yeah.
that
Thank
is
you very
what.
much.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I just want to clarify. Okay.
Okay.
Om
Om
Shanti.
Shanti.
Thank you.